Hello, and welcome back to Hope is Kindled, the podcast where we look to the great works of literature, philosophy, and history to find the sparks of hope that guide us through life's trials. Today, we turn to a slender book that has touched millions across the globe, translated into more than 100 languages, and carried at weddings, funerals, and quiet nights of longing. Khalil Gibran's The Prophet is not a novel or a philosophical treatise. It is a song for the soul. Written in 1923, it blends poetry and parable into something that feels both ancient and eternal, intimate and universal. Gibran's words remind us that literature does not only analyze, it heals. It does not only challenge, it soothes. And in a time when life can feel fractured, his vision calls us back to wholeness. Who was Khalil Gibran? Gibran was born in 1883 in Bishari, a mountain village in Lebanon. His family immigrated to the United States when he was a child, and he grew up between cultures, an experience that shaped his art, his longing, and his themes. He became a painter, poet, and philosopher, equally at home in the traditions of East and West. The Prophet, his best-known work, reflects this bridging of worlds. Its rhythm echoes the Bible and the Quran. Its themes reflect both Christian mysticism and Sufi wisdom. And yet, it belongs to no single tradition, it belongs to humanity. The frame of the Prophet, the book tells of Al-Mustafa, a prophet who has lived in the city of Orphalese for 12 years. On the day of his departure, the townspeople gather and ask him to speak one last time on the great subjects of life: love, marriage, work, children, sorrow, joy, freedom, pain, and more. Each chapter is one of his responses, a lyrical meditation on the things that bind us all. On love, Gibran tells us,
"Love gives naught but itself, and takes naught but from itself."
Love, for him, is not possession. It is not control. It is a fire that burns away illusions, a force that transforms us, even as it wounds. His hope is that love makes us larger than ourselves. On work, he writes,
"Work is love made visibly."
Work is not punishment. It is expression. It is meaning woven into the fabric of life. Here we hear echoes of Marcus Aurelius and even of Odysseus. Purpose is found not in avoiding labor, but in embracing it as part of who we are. On joy and sorrow.
"Your joy is your sorrow unmasked."
This truth recalls Dostoevsky and Elie Wiesel. Joy and sorrow are not opposites, but two sides of the same soul. The deeper we have known sorrow, the greater our capacity for joy. On freedom, Gibran reminds us,
"You shall be free indeed, when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want or a grief, but rather when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them naked and unbound."
True freedom, he insists, is not the absence of hardship. It is the ability to rise above it. In this we hear an echo of Nelson Mandela, who showed the world that even in confinement, the human spirit can remain free. Reading the Prophet is like hearing an ancient voice reborn, and that voice sounds unmistakably like the preacher of Ecclesiastes. Both works look upon the whole span of human experience, love, work, joy, sorrow, time, and mortality, and see a pattern that is not despair, but humility. Where Ecclesiastes begins,
"To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven."
Gibran continues the song,
"You would know the secret of death, but how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life?"
Both refuse the illusion of permanence. Both teach that the rhythm of life, its cycles of loss and renewal, is not tragedy, but truth. The preacher observes,
"What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun?"
And Gibran answers across the centuries,
"Work is love made visibly."
Where Ecclesiastes laments the vanity of toil, Gibran redeems it, not by denying its futility, but by transforming it into devotion. For Gibran, to labor in love is to participate in creation itself. Even their tones are kindred, both spare, both rhythmic, both meant to be read aloud and felt in the chest. Both writers speak as wanderers who have seen joy and grief in equal measure, who know that wisdom is not found in answers but in awareness. Ecclesiastes says,
The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning.
And Gibran, too, insists that sorrow is sacred.
The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain.
It is as though the two voices meet in the same place, a house where light and shadow share the same window. Together, the prophet and Ecclesiastes remind us that to be human is to be temporary, and yet, somehow, eternal. The dust returns to the earth, but love, like breath, moves on. They both teach that wisdom is not found in denying the fleeting nature of life, but in living fully within it, savoring the brief, luminous gift of being here at all. Reading the prophet also feels like revisiting some of the voices we've explored before, distilled into poetry and flame, as though every thinker we've encountered speaks again through Gibran's gentle wisdom. Like Emerson's Self-Reliance, it urges us to authenticity, for when Gibran writes,
"You dock when you cease to be at peace with your thoughts."
he reminds us that truth begins in stillness, not imitation. Emerson's call to
trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string.
Finds its echo in Gibran's insistence that
Your daily life is your temple and your religion.
both proclaim that integrity is not a philosophy but a way of being, the courage to live from the soul outward. Like Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, it offers short reflections that can guide daily life, compact as prayers, yet vast as oceans. Gibran's meditation on work, one we just mentioned earlier,
Work is love made visible.
could sit beside Aurelius's counsel.
Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good.
Both see the ordinary act, the hand that builds, the word that heals, as a form of virtue. In both, the measure of wisdom is not what one knows, but how one lives. Like Whitman's Leaves of Grass, it sings of humanity's shared destiny. For when Gibran declares,
You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth.
he joins Whitman's chorus of boundless kinship.
For every atom belonging to me is good belongs to you.
Both poets sing the unity of all souls, a vision of the self that is not small or separate, but luminous and infinite, part of a great, breathing whole. Like Gandhi and Mandela, it insists on dignity and resilience, the kind that comes not from pride, but from peace. When Gibran writes,
The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain.
he speaks the same truth Gandhi lived, that suffering, when met with faith, can become strength. And in Mandela's long walk to freedom, we see the prophet's wisdom made flesh, endurance as grace, and forgiveness as the highest form of power. Like the Alchemist, it whispers that the soul has a path, and to follow it is to live truly. For Gibran reminds us,
Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding.
just as the shepherd boy in The Alchemist learns that,
When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
Gibran assures us that every wound and wonder is a compass pointing us toward our destiny. Both teach that life's truest treasure lies not at the journey's end, but in the becoming that unfolds along the way. Why does the prophet endure, a century after its publication, you ask? Because it speaks to every stage of life. To the young, it gives guidance. To the suffering, it gives comfort. To the joyous, it deepens gratitude. To all, it offers hope. In a fractured world, Gibran's words remind us of our unity, that we are all seekers, wanderers, and lovers, in the great journey of being human. I remember when Sharon first gave me the prophet. It felt less like reading and more like being sung to. I found myself underlining nearly every line, whispering them aloud, as if the cadence itself carried medicine. Gibran does not lecture, he invites. He reminds me that words, at their best, are not arguments but bridges. And in the darkest days, it is often poetry, not politics, that keeps hope alive. Khalil Gibran's The Prophet is not simply a book, it is a companion. It does not tell us what to think, but how to live with grace. It tells us that joy and sorrow are intertwined, that freedom is found in rising above our burdens, that work is love made visible, and that love itself is the root of all meaning. It is hope, not as theory, but as song. And so, as we close, let us remember that each of us is both prophet and seeker. That our words, our choices, our acts of love are part of a larger hymn that will outlast us. Good journey.